I'm Jenny Barnett Rohrs. Today, we're giving a new twist to old techniques. There are a lot of ideas that had their roots a long time ago, but are things we still enjoy today. So let's start by making this cool box to hold all of your treasures. We're going to start off by needing some basic supplies, including some metal tins, and if you're going to use ones that have the plastic, make sure you take the plastic out, some cookie cutters, some polymer clay, some basic clay tools like markers and cutters, a nice big rolling pin is good, and just to help you with cleanup, you might want some wax paper and some baby wipes. Now, when we work with polymer clay, you always have to start with conditioning the clay, and that means remixing the ingredients. It also makes it nice and soft and pliable so that it holds the forms that you want it to take. So we're going to start by taking a block of white clay and red clay, and it's a good tip to always start with the lighter color clay first, and we're going to condition it and make it into a log. And that just means you're going to kind of roll it flat and then kind of smoosh it in on the sides so it has that nice log shape. And you're going to want to do this with both colors of your clay, and we're using red and white for this particular one. And you want to make them about the same size in diameter, because then what we're going to do is take our cutting tool. Now, if you have adult help, you may want to use like a tissue blade, but today we're going to use this palette knife, and we're just going to slice it in half, because what that'll do is give us two shapes of clay that are half circles. So you're going to take one of each and set the others aside, and then we're going to take another little bit of clay. Again, we're going to go back to our white and roll a nice thin snake. And this is so much fun to roll these snakes of clay. And this one's about the size of a pencil eraser. And then we're going to let that cool down. By the way, when you work with the clay, your hands do get warm and the clay gets warm, so it may need to cool in between. So what I've done ahead of time is I've conditioned and rolled out this sheet of black clay, because it's going to make our project really pop. So I'm taking a little bit of this black clay, it's about the thickness of a nickel, and I'm going to roll this little white log up in it. And let me show you how I do it. I'm going to kind of start it off, roll it up, and then see where it meets, and then cut off the rest. And then just smooth it together like this. And you can use your finger to bring the seams together so it goes all the way around. Now remember these two pieces? Now what we're going to do is take a little tool, and we're going to make a divot right in the middle of it, because that's where this little wrap log is going to sit. So I do it on one side, I do it on the other side, and if you have to, you can even use your fingers to make it a little bit bigger, because now I'm going to roll the log in these little semicircles of clay, like so. And if you want, it's also fun to take a little bit of accent clay and kind of smish it in the middle to give it the line just the same way it does on that video game app that we like. And when you're done, it's going to look kind of like this. So this is kind of big, and you can keep it big if you like, but you can also reduce the cane by rolling it and stretching it, by pulling it, just really gently tugging it, and then you can actually make the cane smaller and take slices from it. You can also roll this in some black clay if you like. Now, what we want to do though is cover our tin. So remember all the little bits and bobs that you have left over? You're going to just swirl them up with your hands and spread them out and roll them to make kind of a marble pattern, which is really fun because you don't have to like worry about how it's going to really look. It just has that texture, and we're going to use the clay to cover our tin. And it's so easy. You don't even need adhesive for this. You just lay the clay on top and use your fingers and smooth it all the way around until it's covered. And you can even use your roller on top, but all you're doing is kind of making a bed for the clay to sit on. So once you've got that covered, you want to go ahead and grab some slices of your cane, which I've got here. Let's see if I have one here. I'll just kind of give this a slice. And this may be a little warm because it's here, but at your house, you could also put it in the fridge to freeze it up a little bit. So then we'll go ahead, take a slice. We're going to take a little bit of accent clay because I think this is a lot of fun. Because you get little stars on that video game app. Pop a little bit of yellow on, throw a little slice on top, And then you can bake according to the manufacturer's directions. Now go ahead and let it cool in the oven so you're not tempted to touch it while it's still hot. But you can go ahead and add all kinds of textures if you like. You can use different shapes of tins, and you can cover the whole lid if you want, or just make it a focal point. And if you have clay left over, you can use it to make things like ID bracelets or backpack tags. There are a lot of options, and I know you'll be creative.